Hello friend, welcome back. In this video, we'll start a new session. It's about that learn Express.js from scratch. So first of all, what is Express.js? Express.js is a minimal and flexible Node.js web applications framework that provides a robust set of features to develop web and mobile application. So why we should use that Express? Express we generally use for our backend server. And Express makes building web application and API with Node.js much easier. In your previous section, I have already completed one of the pure Node.js bicycle project. And into this pure Node.js bicycle project, they have one of the servers. So for creating all the server functionality, we write down minimum 100 lines of code. But if you want to do that work with using that Express.js, we can manage it only writing as a 25 or 30 line of codes. I hope you get some of the idea how much easily we can actually do that work with using that Express.js. So now step by step you will understand how much easily with creating that web application and node application with using that Express. I hope you like it very much. Just simply remember Express is one of the Node.js web framework and it's used for manage our backend server. If you're ready, then let's get started. Simple server with Express.js. As I told you, Express is used for manage our backend server, right? So now in this video, I want to create one of the simple server with Express.js. So for doing this, that is our previous project as a bicycle project, right? Peter, I want to add the things in here. Okay, I have already saved all that file. If you go to your exercise file, from here we started, and whatever the things I have done, that is our done project. Okay, now that is our done project. Now I want to do, I have already done it in our JavaScript. So into the JavaScript, rather than we have to install it again, I don't want to, I make it as a clean. I delete this data and delete this public folder and delete and also make it as a continue. I want to delete it. Yeah, now you can see it's not removed, and also there's a view. We don't need this any view file. I remove it. Only that node module, the index.js, and then package.js, and then package.json. Okay, so that's all that is our initialize all that file. Now I want to add this project again. Okay, I want to add this project again, and better I want to change that name if I can. Then better I want to make it as Express. Okay, Express. Now I just simply rename it, which is totally fine. Now this file, okay, that is on the clean file. I want to take this file in our Visual Code Editor. Simply open this folder, and now in our desktop, that is our JavaScript, right? So where exactly there is a JavaScript folder, and that is our Express, right? I want to select this folder only. Now click as a select folder. Now you can see it's not successfully loaded. Great. So right now in our index, so into this index there have some of the things I want to remove everything. Okay, I simply make it as a clean. Now I want to discuss about that our Express, that means how to create. Okay, create server with Express. Okay, now that is totally clean. So now first of all I want to install that Express. Okay, so if you want to install that Express, then we have to go to our terminal. Into this terminal area, I want to open this terminal. Now into this terminal, first of all we have to install it. So if you want to install that Express, you have to write down as a npm. Okay, npm and then install, or rather than right now I'm using that I. Okay, I and then Express. So that will be as a npm I express. So that is the command for install that Express.js in your system. Okay, now I just click as a enter. Now it will be downloaded all that file and it will be installed this Express.js in your system. Okay, it may take little time. Right now is downloading all that file and now it's installing. Yeah, you can see it's now successfully done. That means Express.js is now successfully installed in your system. So here I have already installed that Express. Now you can actually import this Express. Okay, if you want to import, I have already discussed about that things with you, what exactly you have to do. I take one of the constant variable. Okay, I take one of the constant variable and I just name it as a Express. Okay, that will be one of the Express. And first of all, if you want to import this module, we have to make it as a required, right? So that will be as a required, and then our module name, that will be as a Express. I hope it's very much clear to you. So now you're actually creating one of the servers. So step by step, everything will be more clear. So now I import our express, and after that, I want to take another variable. I just name it as a app. And now here I want to call one of the function as the express function, and into this express function here, if you put your cursor, now you can see it's now display. It's actually used for creates an express application. Okay, so it should be created one of the express application. So I simply take this function as a express. Now I want to call one of the server app. So that means in our app, and then with the listen, okay, with the listen here I want to add that our server port name. Okay, our server port name, and you can see it's also pass one of the parameter as a callback function. You can actually add it in here, okay, into this listen. So first of all, I name it our port name. I want to use that as a port name 3000, which is totally fine. And after that, better I want to use one of the callback function. Okay, I simply call callback function. I simply loaded the callback function, and into this callback function area, I want to display some of the things like as a console. That is message when our server will be running, what type of message that will be displayed. It should be displayed as a server. Okay, server is running at port 3000. Okay, so this type of one of the message, then that will be displayed. So when our server will be running, then every time our this message will be displayed as a server is running. Okay, ing that will be as a ing. Server is running at port 3000. So I have already installed some of the package before for our this project. If you go to that our packages, into these packages, you can say I have already installed that nodemon. So I hope you already know why this nodemon is important. So when you save this page, automatically that will be executed. So if you want to access it, I have already created one of the script as a server script, right? That is our index. It should be loaded. So if you want to now run that nodemon, then we have to simply run as a npm and then run our server, right? That is a server. Now if you click as the enter, our server will be running. You can see our server is now successfully running. Now if you want to access it, like I just click as a save all, okay, or you can see it's now successfully displayed as a server is now running at port 3000. So as I told you, nodemon will be executed our total things when you save this file. Okay, so right now I have already discussed about that things with you. I hope it's not much hard for you. Simple. So now I want to access our this 3000 port. If you go to our page, and that is will be our local host and then 3000, right? If you open it, now you can see it's now display one of the error. It's now display one of the error as a cannot get and then slash. It's actually display this type of one of the error because of all by default they are actually expecting one of the route. I didn't create any route, for the reasons actually is display this error. So don't worry about it. So here I didn't create any route, for the reasons it's actually displayed. Okay, so better if you want to do that work, like that is our app, and here I have already passed that is as I told you, and it will be a create an express application. So with this here I take the things with this variable. Now I want to run one of the route. Okay, I want to run one of the route, that is an app. Okay, into this app now you can actually access, there is a different type of method, like as a get method, post method, delete method, patch method. Okay, right? Now I want to get this data. That means I want to pass on the request data from here. That will be as a get method. I simply loaded this get method in here, and our route will be what I want to do. Our route for home route I want to use, that means that will be as a slash, right? So that will be our route. Now I want to use this route, so that will be as a slash route. So into this slash route here, now we have to pass one of the request handler. Before I have already discussed about that things with you. Into this parameter area, now I want to pass another request handler. You can see that is the request handler, and into this request handler that will be passed two parameter. One is the request, another is the response. I hope you already remembered that things. Now I want to create, just simply pass it. That will be one of the parameter as a request, right? That will be as a request, and then another one will be as a response. And then our array function, I declared that array function. So now whatever the things you will be do, you can do that work in here. Okay, like I want to pass one of the request with this request parameter, that is a request, and into this request now I want to use that as a send method. Okay, so that is will be one of the send method, and into this send method area here I want to pass one of the HTML code, like as the h1 tag, and I want to close this h1 tag. right? So friend, don't worry, step by step everything will be more clear. Just simply continue and understand what exactly the things I'm doing in here. Okay, so that is our requested. I pass that send one of the HTML tag, and I pass that HTML tag like as a hi Aryan. Okay, hi Aryan. Okay, I simply pass one of the HTML tag in here with our request. Now if you click as a save all, our server is now successfully running. If you go to our page, now refresh it. Now it shows on that type error as a request sent is not a function. Okay, you can see there is a request type. That will be obviously one of the response, not that request. That will be as a response. Okay, here I simply pass that as a response. Now response sent, and then that will be our message. Now click as a save all again. Server is now running. If you go refresh it, yes, you can see now it's actually display as a hi Aryan. Our error is totally gone. So for the slash now it's pass one of the URL or into this URL area, that is one of the get method. I simply pass with our handler, that is our request handler, with the response or the send method. Here I pass one of the name as a hi Aryan. Right now that is visible in our page for our slash. That means that is for our slash. If you click as enter, now you can see it's on display as a hi Aryan. So now I want to create another URL, and into this URL if you want to pass some of the JSON data, then how can do that work? I show you here after this. Okay, after this I name it as app. Sorry, that will be the app, and that will be one of the get method. And now I want to create another route that will be for the about. Okay, that will be for the about. And then our same procedure here we have to add. That means here I want to pass that our request handler. There is a 2 parameter. One is the request, another is the response. Right, I simply pass both of these, and then our array function, and into this area here now I want to pass one of the JSON data. Okay, like I just with this response now I'm going to pass that as a JSON. So that is our JSON method. So into this JSON area now I'm going to pass one of the object data. So before, when you pass any object data, we make it as a string fire, right? But right now we don't need to do anything. Like here I show you, I want to pass one of the JSON data, okay, as a name. I name it as a name. So that will be the name, and I just make this name will be as a whatever name. I just make it as a Aryan. Okay, so that is one of the JSON data. So now if you check it, now click as a save all, and now if you want to access this our route, then that will be as a about, right? After that I first of all refresh this page, and then after that will be as a about. Now click as a enter. Now you can see friend, now it's actually display on the JSON data. Right, so that is our string. Automatically that is changed. Before, if you want to display it, then you have to make it as a string fire. With this string fire we convert that object data to the string, but right now you can see it's not display like that way. Here we don't need to pass any string fire in here. So that is one of the JSON data, and this JSON data is now successfully displayed in here. So I have already discussed about one of the method as a get method, right? In our next video, I will work with our another method as a post method. And how can do that work step by step? I will show you everything with a live example. And also we have created two of this route as a one of the slash route, another is the slash about. And also into the slash route here, I pass one of the HTML, some of the tag as a hi Aryan. And for the about, I have passed one of the JSON object data, right? But right now both of these here I'm using that get method. For the reasons we are able to access it in our browser. That means in our browser, if when you make it as a slash about and when you make it as a slash home, then you can see we can able to access it. But problem is that they have that different type of method, right? Right now we are using that get method only. So if you use that as a post method, put method, patch method, delete method, then we need one of the form. Right, so we are not able to access everything with our this browser because they have no option for the any form. For the reasons now I want to introduce another software. With this software we can actually manage every method, like that is the postman.com. Okay, that is a Postman, one of the software. With this software we can manage all that our APIs data. We can check all that our post method data, get method, delete, patch, everything we can manage it. Simply go to that postman.com, and here if you go to that right down here, like there is an option for the download. You can say there is a download this app. If you click it as a download this app, Now you can see there is an option for the Postman app. There is a Windows. Right now I am using that Windows. If you are using that Mac, if you are using that Linux, everything is ready made in here. That is totally free one of the software. Only you have to do, you have to simply click it on here. If you are using the 32-bit rather than 64-bit, simply click it in here. Automatically that will be download one of the exe file, and then install this. That will be the just next by next process. You have to just flow. Okay, after that, then when you install it successfully, you will get this type of one of the interface. And into this interface area here, you can see that is all that our request. That means which type of is request. That is a get request, post request, put request, patch request, and the delete. So these 5 words most common, we use it a lot of the time. So now we can actually manage everything without this Postman software. Okay, like here there is also another option for the form. If you want to add another form into the body, so into this body you can see there is a option for the form. You can add multiple form, you can add some of the value, and with this you can, if you want to change it, you can make it as a post method. The post method, all that API result will be displayed in here. Like I show you before, I have already created one of the route for the home, and also I have created another one as a about. So now if you want to access it, before we access it within our browser, right? Now I copy it, and here when you access it, then it's actually get our this value as a hi Aryan, one of the HTML tag, right? Now if you want to check it in our Postman, I simply paste our this URL, make it as a get method, and now if you go to the send option, if you click as a send, now that should be display our message. You can see here I pass that as a hi Aryan. And for the about, if you want to, that is also one of the get method, I make it as a about. That is our another route that I have created, and here I pass one of the JSON data, right? That is one of the JSON object data. And now if you want to access it, that will be as a slash about, and that will be one of the get method, right? And now if you click as a send it again, yes, you can see it's now perfectly get our this object string data as a name Aryan. Okay friend, step by step everything will be more clear because we will do multiple project with Express.js, but simply understand every lecture is important. If you are at very beginning, if you don't have any idea, I am trying to explain everything one by one. And also there is another option for the preview. Our preview will be this one, right here. This preview is display in our browser. And for the home, if you go, we click as a send it again. Now you can see in our preview it's display as a hi Aryan, and that is our raw. So that is a raw will be displayed like that way, and preview will be our browser. What exactly the things it should be displayed in our browser. Now in our browser it's displayed like this. Okay friends, so it's very interactive, one of the software. So with this we can actually check all that our APIs. So make that sure you download this software and install this software in your system. Of this route, here I pass as a get method, right? So with this get method, we get some of the data from to the server. But when you pass some of the data to the server, then we have to use that post method. Now in this video, I will show you that things with the live example, how that post method actually work. For references, I want to do, like if you go to that teespring.com, and every pages they have some of the logging form. Right? Into the logging form, they have some of the email, and also they have some of the password option. So when you insert any name, that means the email address into the input field area, when you pass any password into this input field area, then it sends this data to the server and check this data, right? So that is the one of the example of the post method. So if you want to working with this post method, like here, before I use that all our get method for our slash and also for the about. Now I want to create a new one, and better I want to do and to copy it. Okay, copy it. That is our server. For education purpose, I want to do and to make it as a, that will be as a post method. Okay, and here I want to create one of the route as a logging. Okay, for education purpose, I'm using as a logging. So when you use that as a logging, and that is one of the post method, now we have to insert some of the data. Right? How we can actually insert it. For the reasons actually we are using that Postman in browser is not possible, but into the Postman, if you go to that body, and into the body you can see that is one of the form. Like that is our form key, and that will be our value. Our key will be as email. Okay, and also I want to take another our key, I name it as a password. So that is our form. Two of this key as an email and then password. And I want to put some of the value as a kazi@gmail.com, and I put that password as well for education purpose 1 2 3 4 5. Now that is one of the post method, and after that if you click as a send, it should be redirected to the server. How can working with this? Now I want to work code for this. Now I want to create another route. Okay, after this I want to create another route that will be the same as the app, and now I want to use that our post method. Okay, so that is one of the post method. So into this post method here, that will be the same. First of all, we have to declare our route. Our route I want to make it as a logging, because I have already add that as a logging. Okay, for now I want to write down it as a logging. Great. And then also we have to pass that same our handler, that is request handler. So I simply pass the request handler, and here first of all that will be as a request and then the response, right? So both of these parameters I simply pass it. Then there is our functional array, and now into this area I want to pass our request. Okay, so into the request, like there is our request, and into this request there is also another method as a body method. Okay, so that is on the body method. So with this body method we will get all that our body data. Better I want to display it with our the console. Okay, better I cut it. And I want to display it with the console. There is a console log, and into this console log area here I pass that our requested body. Okay, I simply pass that requested body, and right now if everything okay, if it's get that appropriate or all the data, I want to response of the data. That means with this response I want to pass that as a send method, and into this send method area here I want to display some of the message as a user. Okay, user logging successfully. Okay, the user logging successfully. Then it will be returned one of this type of the response as a user logging successfully. So now if you want to check it, click as a save all. Every part will be very clear right now. So now you can see our server is now running. Now if you go to our port, that means our postman, into this postman I have already insert two of this key, and there is our the value, right? And now if you click as a send, okay, if you click as a send, you can see it's now successfully display our message as a user logging successfully, right? Here I have already done it. That means when our response will be the perfect, and then that will be a response in our response send, it should be display our message as a user logging successful, and for the reasons you can see it's now display as a user logging successful. So as I told you, we get all that our value data. That means here they have some of the key and they have some of the value. All the data you will get everything in our this body. Okay, so if you want to display this body into this console log, I have already displayed, you can see, but right now it's displayed as undefined. So it's displayed the undefined because of all. Right now here we have to install one of the package for this as a body parser. If you go to that Google and if you search with the body parser, okay, you can see there is a body parser. I want to install this type of one of the package. You can see there is one of the npm package. Simply open this npm package. Right now postman we don't need this, and also we don't need this. Okay, now into the body parser, that is one of the package. You can see that is one of the package, and first of all if you want to install it, you can install it with the npm install body parser. So with this body parser we can actually get our requested all the data. That means we can actually read our this body data. Okay, here I already pinned this as a body data. You can see it displays undefined. Now let's do that work. For doing this we can actually install this our npm of the package as a body parser package, rather than right now they have some of the middleware. In our next video I will discuss about that middleware. You can see there is a two of this middleware. Okay, here now first of all we have to take both of this. I copy it, and now I want to copy it, and then in our project, into the project after this I paste it. Okay, so that is our two middleware I simply loaded. But right now that is our body parser. So if you want to access this body parser, we have to install it. Okay, if you don't want to install it, you can see there is also another one as express, as a required express. I have already import that express, right? So you can actually manage it with this express. Better I show you. If you don't want to install it right now, then just simply there is a body parser. Here you have to change it as a express. Okay, that will be the express, and also that will be as a express, because I have already import that express with our this variable. I simply updated both of this in here. Now that will be readable. Okay, with this parcel we can actually now read our this body data. So now let's check this out. If you now click as a save all, our server is now running, and now I want to hit our API again. Okay, that means here that is our API. I want to hit this API again. Now it's also display as user logging successful. Now that is email, password, email value, and then password value. Now if you go to our terminal, yes, you can see into this terminal now that is our object as a null prototype, and there is an email I have actually added this one, and password I have added this one. Now I hope friend it's very much clear to you what exactly our body, and there is a request all that body, and you can see there is all the data, there is a key data, and then value data is now successfully get it and visible it in here. So if you want to access individually, now you can actually able to access individually everything. Like into this body there is a two of this part key as a email, and another is the password, right? So if you want to access as a email, like after that body I want to access that email. Okay, that is our email. And also into the console log I want to display another one. I want to display another one as a our password. Okay, password. Perfect. Now if you want to get that data individually, click on the save all. Server is now running. I will have to hit our API again. I simply hit it. User logging successful. Now you can see it's now successfully get that our all that value. So that is an email property value, and then that is a password value. I hope friend you get some of the idea how the post method actually work, and in our next video I'll discuss about this middleware a little bit. So that is step by step process. Laterly we'll develop multiple advanced project with this Express.js, but it's very important to know all that basic core part. Okay friend, so make that sure you understand every step by step process, that post method, and also how you can get some all that our body data with the parser. Everything I hope is very much clear to you. So before we introduce another keyword as a middleware, right? What exactly that middleware? Middleware just in simple is that is one of the function. With this function we can actually work with our this request and then response object. So better I want to show you how that a middleware actually work. If you want to do that work after this, okay, I want to do now create one of the new middleware. If you want to create this middleware, then that will be one of the use method. Okay, that is use one of the method, and with this method you have to declare all that your middleware. So here first of all we have to pass our request object, and also we have to pass that as our response object. So I simply pass both of this, and also there is another function we have to add as a next. Next is used for to release our next middleware. That means it should be released to our next middleware. So there is another function as a next function. Okay, and after that I want to create one of the array function. So that is our array function. So into this array function now I want to do into the console log. Into the console log I want to print some of the message as a hi, I am from middleware. I am from middleware. So this type of one of the message now I want to display in our console. Now if you want to check it, like I just click as a save all. Our server is now running, right? If you go to our API, and here I want to do that is our home. So into the home API, if you click as a send, now you can see it's actually sending that request, but it's not get any request. That is on the get method. It should be get our request, right? But you can see it's now sending that request. But if you go to our terminal, and into the terminal you can see it's now display as a hi, I am from middleware. That means our this message is executed, and after that executed it's actually holding our total application. You can see our this route is not executed. It's hold our total things in here. So if you want to release it, okay, if you want to release it, then as I told you, there is another function we have to call as a next. Okay, so now I want to make it, so that will be the next function. So when you execute that next function, then that is our another route, right? Now our another route or another middleware will be executed. You can also call it as a route, rather than you can also call it as a middleware. So now our another one for our home, okay, this another middleware will be executed. It will be released or this with the next. So here into the request area you can also pass that as the same as a next. Okay, that means when you pass it, when you declare this one, then that will be executed, or the another one as about. Like first of all I show you here it's working or not. If you now click as a save all, right now our server is now running. Go to our side, and now I want to send it again. Yes, you can see it's now release our next one. That means that is our hi Aryan is visible, and in our terminal you can see it's also now visible as a hi, I am from Aryan. That means first of all that will be loaded, and then that is release our next middleware. So that is our next middleware, and then you can also call it as a route. Our next route here I pass that as a hi Aryan. You can see it's now successfully done. Some of the idea about that middleware. So with this middleware, if you want to get that your requested method, protocol, host, URL, everything, if you want to get it, you can get it. Like right now, that is our one of the URL, right? That is one of the method. They have one of the method, what type of method if you want to get, and they have some of the HTTP. So that is one of the protocol, our host name as a local host, right? And that is our total URL. So if you want to get all that information data, you can get it. That means which API you are actually executed, it will be get all the data. Like if you want to do that work right now, that is a console log. Into the console log area, I want to display everything. Okay, like that is our all that request. So now with this request, I want to access that another method as a method. So if you declare this method, it will be get that which method is that. That means your requested method, it will be get it. Okay, and also if you want to get that with the console log, into the console log, and then our request. Okay, that is a request, and into this request, if you want to get that protocol, then you can also get it. That will be as a protocol. Okay, it will be get that our protocols. Right now we are using that HTTP, right? It will be get that our protocol. Great. And also if you want to get that your host name, you can also get it. And then that will be as a console, and then the console log, and then with the request. Okay, that is a request, and then you have to use that as a get method. Okay, into the get method area, here I want to get that our host name. Then that will be display our host name. And also if you want to get that our appropriate URL, then you have to write down as a console log. Into this console log area, I want to actually print everything. Okay, that is our request, that is a request, and requested another method as a original URL. Okay, that is a original URL. So with this method we can actually get this every data. Now if you want to check it in our console log area, I want to check everything. Okay, so if you want to check it here, I have already declared that our next, that means it will be executed for our all that route, that means all that our next middleware, right? Now if you click as a save all, and now I want our server is now running. Now I want to hit our this one. Okay, that means this one. Now click as a hit it. Now you can see it's now display as a hi Aryan. And now if you go to our console, yes, you can see into the console it's now display that is one of the get method, that is our protocol as a HTTP, and then our host as a local host, and then our original URL as a slash. You can see that is our home slash, right? If you want to I want to run our post method, that is how I have already created. Another one is the logging, right? If you now click as a send it again, now it's display as a user logging successful. And now if you go to terminal again, now you can see it's now successfully get another information. So now it's get that our method name as a post, HTTP it's successfully getted, and that is our logging, that is our host name as a local host 3000 port, and our original URL, you can see it's now perfectly get that as a slash login, right? It's perfectly get that data, and also it's get that all that value. I hope friend you get some of the idea how middleware actually works. So most common and most usable example of for the middleware is if you want to privilege, that means if you want to add some of the privilege for a specific some of the URL, like a specific as a my site, okay, that or the my profile page. So my profile page, that is one of the URL. So if you want to protect that URL, you can protect it with this middleware. So middleware will be checked is that user is authenticated for access this URL or not. So with this middleware, you can protect this URL. So automatically this middleware will be checked user is authenticated to you access this my profile page or not, or any other page. If you want to add some of the restriction, you can actually manage everything with this middleware. So don't worry, laterly we will discuss more about it. Just simply understand step by step all process. I organize this course like that way. After end of this course, JavaScript will be fun for you. So friend, into this session I hope you get some of the idea about that Express.js. So together all that idea in our next video we'll create one of the simple project. How can do that work? I will show you everything with the live example.
Includes
Nesse vídeo, você vai aprender.